When this goes out to millions and billions of people, we're going to mention that this podcast, it's episode, I believe, 188 or 189, and we're going to mention that it's coming live from the Moody Center. Shout out, round of applause to the Moody Center team. That's all of you. Okay, this is going out to millions and millions of people. Don't you want it to be like a little bit louder in the background? Moody Center, yes. And we're gonna just have a conversation. This is what we do. A conversation. I wanna get to know Casey better. I wanna get to know Alexa, Ruth better. We know Casey's title. He is Project President, Discovery Land, with multiple responsibilities, including Driftwood Golf and Ranch Club. Alexa Ruth, General Manager of Driftwood Golf and Ranch Club. And I want to ask some questions. We're recording thumbs up. Welcome to the podcast. Most people don't, but you do. How is this for informal? Coming live from the Moody Center. I want to know, you shared great backgrounds. And you talked about wanting to be a golf pro. You talked about wanting to be a doctor. A few really relevant questions. There's a lot of things going on. I just spent yesterday fully with you, understanding what Driftwood Golf and Ranch Club is all about. And you were getting dinged message and you were handling everything flawlessly. I want to dive into that. As well, you are not only helping to handle one location, you're handling multiple locations. As things get busy, Casey, I'm going to ask you first. How do you remember why you're doing what you're doing? How do you remember?
Yeah, I think a couple things. If you look at, I'm sure you've all done talent things and strengths things and whatever, and every single time I do that, responsibility comes up. It's just why I dress like this every day probably, and why I look. I think it's a sense of responsibility that I have in everything I do, whether that's business, whether that's my family, whatever it is. So there's I don't know, it's a little bit innate. I have to take care of my responsibilities. I also don't really, and this is a fault at times, but I really don't turn anything down. I accept a lot of responsibility to the point where it's can be overwhelming, to be honest. I think on the how do you remember stuff, just so you guys can understand what Alexa and I, how we work together, I get to take care of, I guess, the business piece a little bit and make sure, and she's extremely talented with the business piece as well. I run the business piece of it and try and coordinate all the different verticals. She, every single day, is with members trying to figure out how to solve problems all day long. And so I get to book the concerts and book the shows, and she kind of gets to make sure the show goes great on that day with an incredible amount of inputs, I would say, not input, but inputs from so many different places. And how do you react and how do you do that? I also think you have to continue to go back, what is the mission, what is the vision, whatever that is for your organization. And so we are pretty clear on what we are there to do every day. I think with that goes, every decision that we make should follow, whatever the Moody Center's mission and vision is, every decision you make should fit in those things. And if you have a decision to make and you don't feel like it checks off one of your boxes, then it's probably the wrong thing to do. So I think remembering that there's a sense of responsibility. That's part of the reason.
And I want to dive a little bit deeper into that, but I also want to compliment the Moody Center, all of you, because when we walked in, a very special level, VIP level, whatever that was, thank you. There were signs, almost looked like wallpaper on the side. Have you ever stopped to look at that? We believe in culture. We are here to make experiences memorable. There were so many great things. And I watched, as I'm going through it for the first time, I'm looking at that wall and I'm reading it. I want to take a picture, but I have to get through security. That was brilliant. That's a reminder. And Casey, I know with what you were doing, your mission and your vision and the values with Discovery Land, of course, that drives you. But I want to dive just a little bit deeper into accepting responsibilities. Have you always been that type of person that accepted responsibilities? That's the first question. And where do you think it came from? That's a very special trait.
So this is going to be known, one of you for 4 years, one of you for 3.5 years, one of you for a couple of days, and then most of you for not very long. And so one way to get really responsible is to find out that you are having a child when you're 20 years old. That's one way to do it. So I'm 51 years old, and I have a 30-year-old son. I have granddaughters already, which is some of them were featured in there. In those videos, we don't always pay the talent and stuff, sometimes we pay the talent. And so I think that's accepting responsibility. And all of a sudden you realize that it's a podcast, right?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
We're having a child. What do I do now? And so you start working as hard as you can every single day to provide. And so I didn't know we were getting quite this deep today. But that's where that all comes from. And then I think just this sense of I always want to take on more. I'm always, every time I've received a job, I'm immediately thinking about what the next job is.
Yeah.
Now I think that because of my generation, I'm a proud Generation Xer, there's only a couple of us in the room. Because of that, it's different than I think the millennial generation today, which I think expects they expect it really fast. And so when I say I was looking for the next job, that may be 3 years away or whatever, but I'm always worried about the next thing. And I've just never stopped going. And I'm not content on it, or I'll never be content. I don't really live that way necessarily. But yeah, that sense of responsibility came from being 20 and having to figure life out like right now.
Okay, amazing. Amazing. Thank you for opening up. And I do have one more question, and we will get to you, of course, one more question. Accepting responsibility because you had to, accepting responsibility for I need to provide, I'm going to work as hard as I can, I'm going to do what I can because I'm having a baby, and I need to take care of a family. So as that continued to progress and you're accepting more and more responsibility, is it ever too much? Do you ever take time to think about you? Because all I've heard is accepting responsibility to take care of others. And that's what you're doing, of course, with Discoveryland. But how are you reminding yourself, if you can, to take care of you? Because it sounds like a lot, Casey. It sounds like a lot. And I know it's a lot.
It's a lot. I would say the initial acceptance of responsibility, and then you also start to enjoy it a little bit. So we get into selfish, we get into personal. You start to be the person that everybody needs. You start to like being the person that everybody's counting on. Okay. And then you deliver, and it gets fun. It's intoxicating. Okay. So yeah, I do love that. No, I don't take care of myself very well. It's probably my next thing to balance all of that. I already indicated to all of you that I've spent a lot of time at the bar behind me. And so no, I need to take care of better for myself. I've also, and this is in the last maybe 2 or 3 years, I've also started to accept responsibility that I need to be better for her.
Yeah.
I need to be in better shape, better condition, better mental, whatever so that I can be a better husband, father, employee, mentor, whatever the things are. You have to take care of yourself. So I'm not doing it, but I recognize that I need to do it. I'm working on it.
No, and thank you again for opening up. And just as you said that, it reminded me, there are things that we talk about maybe next time. We can talk about something called should-dos. And in your workbook, this is for our Moody Center Live friends, in your workbook there's an opportunity to write down personal should-dos as well as professional should-dos. And the reason why I wanted to bring that up, Casey, you just listed off, I should be a better husband, I need to be better for the team, right? All of these things. I just want to let people know that it's important that we continue to make sure that our cups are full. Because if we are empty, we have nothing yet left to give, right? We have nothing to give. If I'm running dry, if I'm tired, I have nothing for you. And if you need to take a selfish approach to make sure you're taking care of yourself so you can do it for others, there's nothing wrong with that. And then the last comment with regard to this is, as long as you are doing your best, give yourself a little bit of grace. Does that make sense? Give yourself a little grace by simply asking yourself, am I doing my best? So you don't need to be a perfect colleague, you don't need to be a perfect husband, a perfect grandfather. As long as you're making strides to do your best, that's all that you can do. And it takes some weight off of the pressure of, oh my gosh, I have to do this, I have to do that. And that, I think, allows a balance a little bit as well. Awesome. Casey, thank you for sharing. All right, Alexa. When we were driving with Elexa the other day, Alexa Ruth, general manager, she noticed more things than I noticed. As you were walking around the Moody Center, and our listeners are going to understand we're doing this live, as you're walking around the Moody Center, if you notice something that is wrong, that is out of place, what perhaps could you do? If you notice something that might be out of place, and it's going to, but that's exactly what I saw. See something, do something. And we'll talk about that a little bit later. But I saw Alexa noticing things that I did not notice. We're getting a tour of the facility and one of the sandwich boards fell down and she pulls over. I'm like, are you okay? Yeah, I just have to fix this. And I think it started to rain. But it didn't matter. She saw that board needed to be put back up. This little sign needed to be put back up. Amazing. We're walking around and I saw a water bottle on the ground. So me coming from the world of hospitality, I pick up the water bottle and I'm looking for trash. I'm looking to put it somewhere. And Alexa sees me carrying an empty water bottle, takes it from me, doesn't even ask, which was very nice of you in a good way, takes it from me and said, let me take care of that for you. And I said, yeah, I was looking for a trash can and I couldn't find any. And what did Alexa say? What's the response?
I know.
Yeah, and why was there no trash?
Because you shouldn't have to throw your trash out.
And talk a little bit more, because that attention to detail and care is crazy with Casey and with Alexa. But just share a little bit about how do you notice so many things about others? How do you do that? That is brilliant.
Like I said before, I really care, and I think that mixed with probably a little bit of OCD, we don't want our members to have to think of anything when they walk into our little bubble. We don't want them to have to pick up they're not throwing their trash on the floor. We don't want them to have to stand up from a conversation, from an experience they're having with their friends, their family, to throw an empty cup out. And so our team, and something that we really build into the culture, is it's all of our jobs. We all do everything. If there's a piece of trash on the ground, if there's a sandwich board, signage that blew over because the wind picked up, we just do it. We just pick it up. And I think it's, again, a little bit of, you saw it.
And that was real.
That example.
Yeah, that was real. Because I've seen Casey already in a few moments do things, adjust things, fix things, help that most people don't even see. Which goes back to the essence of the podcast. Most people don't, but you do. Go ahead.
I think also to Casey's responsibility point, I know that it isn't, I don't own the property and I think everything we do is, yes, a reflection of us, but a reflection of how we respect people, places, cultures. It's one of our values. And so if you respect something, you're going to take care of it. You're not going to walk by something that's broken and not fix it. You're not going to walk by somebody who looks sad and not ask them if they're okay. It's, I think, a simple human thing, and we apply that idea to what we do every day, and you guys apply that to what you do every day.
Yeah, Casey, do you find yourself picking things up and helping outside of your discovery world?
Yeah, everywhere you're trying to help, you're trying to be better. I think one of my most proud moments ever as a father was, I don't know, 10 years ago. My daughter, Sadie, who's due to told you graduated here in this building a couple years ago, and we were in whatever HEB or whatever place, and we were walking in to buy stuff. And I watched her pick up trash from the parking lot, bring it in, and I was like, man, I did it. I got it. I've done something. I've contributed to the world in a positive way. And so yes, I'm always trying to make it better, and it is always the next step. And don't just, I go on these rants.
No, I love it.
apologize for this, but it's putting your cart back in the supermarket in the right place. It's like just doing the right thing over and over with no expectation, by the way, that that's going to do anything for me. There's no expectation. You just do the right thing.
Yeah.
And I believe life sort of pays itself forward.
Yeah, so doing the right thing, noticing things, taking action, both of them do that. And they happen to be working for an organization that is surrounded with other people that also believe in kindness and doing the right thing and making people feel good. Yesterday, we got to experience a concert, phenomenal concert. Thank you again for the hospitality. We got back into the car and there was a handwritten note card in the middle of the back seat. And Alexa was driving us around and I looked and it had my name on it. Meanwhile, she had already given me a lovely swag bag with some incredible things from Driftwood, thank you. But then there was another card there and I'm like, what is this for? Yesterday was it a holiday? Father's Day. We have 2 kids. It was a Father's Day card from Alexa, handwritten, and it wasn't just Happy Father's Day, Alexa, E-L-E-X-A. It was, Bart, I'm so glad that you are spending Father's Day with us. Thank you for sharing things about both of your kids, Max and Alexa, and I know that they are proud of what you are doing with your new business. And just, are you kidding? Are you kidding? So that is doing what most people don't do. And it doesn't happen just because you're on stage. It doesn't happen just because you're on a podcast. It happens because you care. So here's the last question for both of you. You both represent such caring and such observation and such doing. How do you teach that? You're responsible for hundreds and hundreds of people, different locations. You're responsible for hundreds of people at one location. How do you teach that, Casey? Because our friends here at Moody Center want to learn, right? What if I didn't grow up like that? What if I didn't have a kid when I was 20? What if I didn't pass out watching surgery happen and I wanted to be a doctor because everyone in my family is a doctor? How do you teach that? What do you think?
I think every single place probably has SOPs and training plans. We have all that stuff, and we're investing more in that. However, none of it really matters unless you have people who really buy into what you're doing and people who really care and people who really want to make it great. And so I guess the easiest way to teach is to really try and hire great. And if someone doesn't want to be on the bus or isn't the right fit, then move somewhere else. Like, it's not even, I think if you inherently don't want to serve, you inherently don't want to make the place better, you don't want to contribute, then you're in the wrong business. And by the way, there's a million businesses. There's a right place for everybody, but in the service world, you have to want to be great every day. You have to want to serve. You have to want to be in the game every day.
Yeah, and it's not easy, ladies and gentlemen, it is not easy what you do. If you were here last night till 11 p.m. or 1 a.m. and come back again it is not easy what you do. And to try to take care of people. And I love what you just said, Casey. If you're on the wrong bus, you might be on the wrong seat in the wrong bus heading in the right direction, but figure that out because there are other companies in which you don't need to care so deeply. But if you do care deeply, guess what? You're going to be elevating the service experience through the roof. Thank you, Casey. Alexa, how do you teach others?
I think, to Casey's point, it's about creating a culture of that and hiring for that. But I think it's also the responsibility of managers and team to provide the tools to do that. So if you don't have your Mary Poppins bag of things that you can pull out of on a whim when in an instant you find out it's someone's birthday, they're celebrating something, their dog got sick, whatever that is, it's the photo printers, it's the custom Moody sleeves, it's the Yeti engraver so you can make a cool custom Yeti on the spot for somebody. It's what are the tools that we're providing our teams to allow for them to instantly create this magic, because it doesn't just happen. It doesn't just happen magically. I'll mention it in a little bit, but Teller, the magician, part of Penn and Teller, has this amazing quote, and it's that magic happens when someone just spends a little bit more time on something than someone would reasonably expect. So is magic real? Is Santa Claus real? No, but can you create that sense of awe and wonder that people feel when you remember something they said and then act on it? Because it's not just about the things we say and the things that we think and acknowledge via email or text. It's what's that action? What's that thing we do, and what tools do we have to make those things happen? And I think that's where it's easy to forget things. We have a lot of things going on in our daily lives, and in one moment you could be pulled away, but if you have the ability to act on it instantly, that's where we shine, we feel good because we make someone else feel good, and they keep coming back, and then the bar sells out.
Yeah, and that's good for business. So by being nice and by being kind and over-delivering, which we will get to, good things come back to us. And there's a study that I'm going to share in a moment, but I'll share with all of you. One act of kindness for 7 days a row increases your happiness by 8%. Think about that. When we do nice things for others, you feel good about it? That's pretty special. That's pretty special. So thank you for all the examples. Yeah, Casey.
I just want to add briefly that I'm not privy to the financials and all that sort of thing, but it's also not about budget. It's not about how much money do I have to go do these things. It's the card in the back seat last night, that cost us, I don't know, 18 cents for the envelope and 24 cents for the card and 10 minutes of her time. It's not all the cost of things. So again, we do have nice budgets. I know you guys have, I know what I pay for the suite, so I know you guys have a budget that's okay. But it's really not those things. It is remembering names, it is remembering specific things. It's the way David makes us feel in our suite. And he's amazing because he's thoughtful and he's kind, and he remembers us, and he remembers what concert we came to. And anyway, it doesn't always have to be about the dollars either. It's just about being thoughtful.
Yeah, and so having the right heart, and what I learned from both of them is also having the resources ready to go. So maybe you have a stash of Happy Father's Day cards. I don't know, but whatever you did, you were able to do it and made me feel special. So having the resources, having the things ready to go makes a difference. 2 last questions, I promise. Fill in the blank. Most people don't blank. Alexa.
Follow up.
How have you seen that? Can you share with us why that popped into your mind?
We see a lot of people, we meet a lot of people, we interact with a lot of people every single day. And so it's easy to forget the impact they've made on you, whether it's a conversation or a story they shared. But I think the times where I've felt most seen and most heard is when somebody follows up, whether it's a call, a text, a card, a thank you. And it's such a simple thing and it costs nothing and it means something.
And just as she's saying that, you over-delivered yesterday for our experience to be able to see everything. You and Connor, phenomenal people. I felt compelled at the end of the day to send you a note just to say thank you. Love the t-shirts. I'm going to be wearing them tomorrow. You're going to see me wearing the drift hat later today. I felt compelled to do that. But just as she said that, it reminded me, last night was a blast here at the Moody Center. And what I did not do, I don't have everyone's text, but I did not send an email. And I feel bad for that. I should have sent an email, shout out Rachel, REAP, with the Moody Center, because you made us feel so special. And as we continue today's discussion and training, I downloaded Wu-Tang Clan song because I love the experience. We didn't stay for the whole thing because I can't stay awake past 11. But it was such a great experience. So let me at least now in front of millions of people, hopefully, or billions, I think it's billions. Thank you, Rachel Reap and Moody Center, for making me feel so special. I will never forget last night's experience. So seriously, thank you. And it's also holding me accountable because I travel the world talking about doing what most people don't. Most people don't follow up. Son of a gun, you're right. And I will follow up appropriately. And here's the point with that. If I would have, in the subject line, typed in thank you, THANK space YOU, 9 keystrokes, and that would have taken me 1.7 seconds to type and to hit send. Yet I did not do that. That is my fault. It's a reminder that I need to make sure that I am doing what most people don't do. If most people don't follow up, I want to make sure I follow up. So thank you for that. Sir, would you mind sharing? Most people don't blank. No right or wrong, whatever comes to your heart.
Most people don't think they can make a difference.
Oh, that's a good one.
And what have you seen?
Everybody makes a difference.
Yeah.
Everybody can touch someone's life. Everybody can open a door. Everybody can say thank you. Everybody can be sincere. Everybody can be genuine. Everybody can be vulnerable. And all of that goes into service.
Phenomenal. I need to share this story because it relates so much to you. Is that okay? A story. There's a story of a hummingbird that was flying and went over a forest. And the forest happened to spark and started to catch on fire. And as this hummingbird flew toward the fire to see what was happening, all of the larger animals were running out of the forest. And this hummingbird stopped, went and got a little sip of water, little hummingbird, little beak, and went and started dropping little single droplets of water on the forest fire. Yet everyone else was running away. The big elephants that could have held gallons and gallons of water, and the hippopotamus and other animals that hold lots of water could have contributed more, but they were all running away. But the little hummingbird wanted to play its part. And that little hummingbird did its best. Drop a little bit of water, go back, drop a little bit of water. And it goes with Casey's point is everything makes a difference. Every one of you, all of our listeners, all of you at the Moody Center, you make a difference. You make a difference. The greeting today through security, lovely. Seeing you waiting for us outside, amazing. You shaking your head with everything now that we're saying, both of you, makes a difference. You are making us, thank you, feel a certain way. That's the goal of elevating experience, elevating the premium experience. So I want to thank Casey, Paulson, Alexa, Ruth, for being on the podcast. This is where we would naturally end, but we could also get a real loud clap. How's that? Clap for our guests. That's cool. And this is, again, informal. So they opened up. They shared their hearts with you a little bit. Do you have questions for them? And you don't need to, but here, please, go. Yeah.
How do you stay consistent with the caring when you are surrounded by those that don't have that natural instinct to care, to pick up that piece of trash instead of walk over it?
It's super frustrating. And you just need to grind through it, and you need to not let yourself get complacent. Like, you still hold yourself to a higher standard, and you just gotta do it. And it's irritating. It just can be challenging. And so I think you hope that you can rally enough people behind you who see what you're doing. I was about to mention this, but there's no job that's beneath any of us. And I would say that sometimes, and can be awkward, I think as my career has gotten, I guess, more advanced, is I think even members sometimes feel bad that Alexa or I will be wiping down tables or whatever. We don't care. We just want the table to be perfect, for the experience to be perfect. I don't have a great answer for you. I don't have a great equation for you. Just grind through it and just keep being better. Just be confident in what you're doing and just keep pushing.
And maybe that elephant is going to see that hummingbird setting an example. And so the second part of the story is, everyone watched that hummingbird, just making this up, everyone watched that hummingbird and they decided to go get water. If one little hummingbird can help, I'm an elephant with whatever, big trunks, I'm going to go help. So it's not always easy, right? I care so much. You, oh my goodness, Rachel, you care deeply. You are one of the most caring people I have ever seen with regard to what they do for their team and for their clients. Unbelievable. But I want to make sure, watch this lady. Learn from her. That's the hummingbird right now. You're the hummingbird. You're the hummingbird. You're the Everyone can contribute. Yeah. What else do you have for Alexa?
I guess I'll ask. I'm sure both of you have had experiences with hiring the right person for your team. I know you touched on not everyone is meant to be in the service industry. More often than not, I'm guessing the question here is, how do you feel like you've been able to hire the right person to be able to work under you and be able to pass that culture on to your team? How do you feel like what questions do you feel like you ask to be able to figure out if that's the right person or not to kind of come in and take over that culture?
I think typically in interviews, we're so proud of the things we do that we're really good at just talking the whole time and telling potential new hires how great we are and everything we do. And it's really important to actually flip that. And so we've now in our hiring process really concentrated on asking those questions. And yes, we get resumes, and yes, you have to make sure the person has the skill. But at the end of the day, if they don't have the care and the personality that matches what the team needs and what the culture of the organization needs, then it's not a good fit. The skill is instrumental, it's important, but you can help nurture those skills, but you can't nurture care. You can't force someone to care about a piece of trash. And so when we hire, we say, we know what your resume is, tell me about you. And we have them talk to so many people on our team because we all have different experiences in conversation with people, and then we all come together and we talk about it. Do you think X, Y, and Z is a good fit for this role, and why? I think it's really getting to know the person and taking the time to interview. And yes, it might leave holes in a department that needs a lot of help, but I think the time spent and the human capital spent in quickly hiring someone and realizing they're not a great fit is so much more detrimental than that little hole and everyone stepping up until you find the right person for the right role.
It's pretty genuine. Either you have it or you don't. So I've been walking around this building all the time, walking in the back spaces, walking in the loading dock, which I hope I get to see someday. Loading docks, I should say. But show them everything.
It is very stressful riding in a golf cart with him. It's become a sort of this game in my head. Can I find the trash before Casey sees it? And he'll pull over and I'm like, where is it? And there's like the tiniest little wrapper in some tall grass. And I'm like, God, I can't believe I missed it.
But look at this dialogue, look at this chemistry, look at this comfortability. Is that even a word? There is magic at Driftwood. Because of people like this, it is magical what they can get done together.